Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Trip Around Multiverse with your host, the man who left Metropolis because my wife died from poison gas and lived on the moon. Well, I think he lived on the moon for a while. Carl Charles and...
We actually did not live in the moon for a while, but
Okay, I don't know where I got that from.
the man whose wife died because I basically punched her to death, even though somehow she's still able to say something to me at the very end, which makes no sense because should have just punched her head off with the very first punch. See what, John?
And today we thought, hey, Elseworlds is a big thing, like in the DC universe, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we had a discussion on the Sonyverse, which is a separate entity to the MCU, which they are trying to make it like it's together, right? Even though it's not.
It's not.
Whereas DC has embraced that stuff and basically said, we've got a mainline DC universe and we've got Elseworlds, which, there's stuff in production before James Gunn took it over, right? And he couldn't really scrap them. So they just labeled them separate, which, is good. It's good. I like the idea of having different concepts for like, you got your main universe and you got different other things that spawn off from, not necessarily from it, but with those characters and stuff that you couldn't necessarily do in your main universe. Like the multiverse, DC's version of the multiverse, when they originally tried to call it Worlds of DC, and then everyone else was like, no, it's DCEU.
Yeah, which makes more logical sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so we just thought we'd have a discussion on some comics version of the Elseworlds or anything that might sound intriguing that they should do. Look, if they do a live action, do you reckon like HBO Max or something like that? Mini series or mini movies or something like that?
Depends which one it is, really. Like, I think the more outrageous the sort of ones are pretty.
Yeah.
You could do, but like my classic things like animated, because then you can kind of like do it on more of a cheaper budget than blow in your. Like,
would you say the Tomorrowverse is an Elseworlds? Right?
Yeah, I would say it's a Elseworlds.
But then it's okay. So if that's an Elseworlds, where do you draw the line on how different certain concepts are? I know it's a separate universe, but it how Elseworldsy is it?
I think it sort of depends how. Like, actually, I don't know now, because I kind of a class like an Elseworld, for example, would be you take the general story, but then you place it like in a different time, or you change something slightly for it to make a big difference, if that makes sense.
Yes, that's how I would classify most of it. So I would say like something like an animation, there's animations where it's not different enough to be something else. It's just an alternative take on the DC universe rather than a complete Elseworlds on it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tomorrowverse, though, how many of those animated movies have you seen? Because I don't want to. There's one I want to mention here, but I don't want to spoil it too much if you haven't seen it.
I've seen all of them except for the recent Infinite Crisis. Crisis on Infinite Earths, whatever it is. Yeah.
So you've seen Green Lantern: Beware My Light?
Yep, seen that.
Okay, what did you think of that?
I liked it for reasons. Actually, I thought it was a bold choice. Some of the things they did.
I want to point out this is the of all the Tomorrowverse. This is why I brought it up to begin with. This is the most kind of Elseworldy one because, right, John Stewart is Green Lantern here.
Yeah.
Which he is a Green Lantern, so it doesn't make too much of a difference.
Yeah.
However, what is the difference is how Jordan is possessed by Paradox and straight up not like Sinestro is involved in anything like, because you'd think Sinestro's the Red Lantern, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
No, how Jordan straight up becomes a villain in this.
Yeah, I kind of like, oh, okay, wow, they just don't care. I mean, not don't care, but they're going for a different approach. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's well, okay. First of all, are they trying to keep Jon Stewart as the animated universe Green Lantern, which is fine, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even think that I mind the character assassination of Hal Jordan in this. because it
No,
gives
same.
them something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was intrigued by that. What you said is a bold choice because what?
Yeah, because of that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then like they kill Sinestro. Sinestro gets killed, right?
I think he's involved in it, but like Hal Jordan's basically the main threat.
Yeah. And I like that. And I like that. I liked Green Arrow had a big part in it. Ooh, that. Yeah, I just thought it was different. Like, okay, cool. When they touched upon like the Thanagarian and the what they called again, the rain.
I was going to say the Kree, but it's not the Kree.
No,
it's not the Kree and the Scrolls. No,
it's the Thanagarians or whoever that race they're warring with them.
Yeah,
them. Yeah, that war that's been going on for as long as the Kree and the Scrolls as.
Yes, exactly.
It's got to the point where they're all as bad as each other.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought that was a nice take on that, and to introduce like basically that was the first Green Lantern of that universe. Not the first Green Lantern animation of that universe. So how was the Green Lantern before, and then he somehow not mentioned on Earth, but whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you read Green Lantern Earth 1, by the way?
No.
Okay, actually,
Technically,
as far as I've been reading it, I read it, and I found it really good. Actually,
yeah,
it's Hal Jordan, but less God mode Hal Jordan.
Okay.
He does stuff that he's the hero of the story, yeah, but he's not as powerful as he's not as amazing as he always is in the comics.
Yeah. How
he's toned down, which makes it more relatable. It's like ultimate Hal Jordan.
Yeah. That's
kind
of like
ultimate comics Hal Jordan, not the ultimate Hal Jordan. There's he gets his potential unlocked and becomes like ultimate Gohan.
The best Gohan. But
yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, so that's cool. But what actually, and before we actually go into these other Elseworlds concepts, yeah. And anything during the conversation, if something comes to the top of your head and you think actually this would be a cool Elseworlds concept, just note it down. We'll get to it, right?
Oh yeah.
But what did you think of the Elseworlds crossover on the CW?
I always liked the CW stuff. The ones I watched anyway, which was like Flash and Green Arrow.
Yeah.
And wait, was that classed as? Wait, I watched Flash, Green Arrow. Yeah. Didn't watch Batwoman. I watched.
Wait, you seen Batwoman? I thought you hadn't seen Batwoman.
No, that's it. I never watched Batwoman. Never watched that.
You didn't watch Supergirl either.
No, which I want to. I just didn't.
And you didn't. You only watched bits of Legend of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I watched to a certain season.
Let me just throw in a massive joke here because obviously it's not true, but I'm just gonna poke at you with it, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's what all those three have in common.
What?
Strong female leads, and you being a sexist.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
I
said, I prefaced it right away because at the end of the day, you're interested in what you're interested in. And
no, because the thing is, I was interested in Supergirl, but I don't know. I think because the first season wasn't shown. Because I think this was when I was watching on Sky and that rather than like through other means. And I think it wasn't shown on Sky 1 at first, so I didn't get to watch it. And then it got shown in Sky 1, I think for season 2, because I think that's even in America, that's when it changed from.
I thought I watched it in Sky 1.
Oh, so there was some reason why I couldn't watch it, and then my time I was like, you know what, it's season 2.
Maybe it switched. Channels partway through, like to E4 and stuff.
It did. It started on E4, then it went to Sky 1.
All right, maybe that's what it was.
And there was a reason why I couldn't watch that. But yeah, so then I want to get around to it because.
But the actual Elseworlds crossover.
That was good. Yeah.
I found it fun. I found it. It didn't impact anything in any way, but it was just a fun. Okay, we'll switch Oliver and Barry around.
Yeah.
We'll tweak a couple of things. They'll act as each other. It's more of a joke's on them, right?
Yeah.
And then Yeah, and then we'll introduce Batwoman here, and then we'll introduce Psycho Pirate, who won't do anything because in the Crisis.
Yeah. Psycho Pirate. That's a
Yeah.
character which I don't think anyone actually knows what to do with, if I'm honest. But yeah.
Yeah, he did come back. He did come back for Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
But yeah. Actually, no, he was in a Batman storyline as well recently. I think they were trying
Yeah,
to.
he was in the Tom King Batman stuff.
Yeah, he was trying to. He was stopping everyone from. His friend. Right, I say his friend, but you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
They're manipulating. It was trying to make, oh yeah, we've got special pills or whatever it is
Yeah.
to help the people in the asylum. Except that what they were actually doing was using Psycho Pirate to make everyone all calm. Say, oh my whatever asylum medication is a success. We need more funding. Give us more money. That stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right. Onto the actual Elseworlds.
Yeah.
Right. Have you read a lot of these, or do you know of them?
I know some of them. Some of them I know of, which is pretty. Like the Batman ones, I just gave up on because I don't know. I feel like they've, in my personal opinion, have kind of rinsed out the different interpretations of Batman. It's kind of like.
Oh, okay. I'll actually, speaking of Batman, we'll get to the. We'll get to the first. We'll get to one right away, which is like essentially vampire Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Batman Red Rain, I think, and then there's Bloodstorm and Crimson Mist, but they're all essentially Batman got bit by Dracula.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen an art. The artwork's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it's by Kelly Jones, who is I don't enjoy his artwork. I think it's too wild for me.
Yeah. Understand.
Yeah, but as far as the concept goes, by the way, as well, I think in this universe it seems as though it's only Batman based.
Oh, he's the only
as in no other heroes are here. I think there was where Nightwing was. There was Dick Grayson, who was a vampire hunter as well.
Okay.
So, yeah. Oh. Do you think they would do a? I think it's an interesting idea, but if you were going to do something like this, Batman becoming a vampire, and then he's a true Batman, by the way.
Yeah.
You should. If you're going to have other people in this universe, you're going to have to tweak them in certain different ways that are. That suit this, and not necessarily everyone becomes a vampire, right? But just something other supernatural happens to other people.
Yeah,
to a different degree.
Yeah.
But as a direct adaptation, I don't think I'd want to see straight up, Batman Red Rain live action, particularly, unless it's going to be like a smaller scale thing, a small mini series on HBO or something like that. Because you can only do so much with it, I think.
I think like this, they probably, if they were going to do this, they kind of missed the boat. They should have done it when, vampires were in the thing with like Twilight and like rubbish. So that would have been the best of times. But if they were to do this, they're probably doing like an animated movie because they've done Gotham by Gaslight, right?
Yeah, which of the yes. Okay. That's fine. As you mentioned, Gotham by Gaslight. I was going to be like, I've read the graphic novel and I've seen the animated movie, and they are different.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
how different?
Yeah, the same things are not the same.
Yeah.
But I would like to. I think a steampunk Batman, Victorian steampunk Batman, is cool. I saw the in development game they were making.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
But they stopped doing that.
Yeah, which I didn't really get. But
I actually think it'd be cool to see Batman create gadgets that do stuff that they're supposed to currently do, which with the technology can, but with technology back then.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You can say the entire world has not moved on from the steampunk era at that point,
Yeah, that would be quite different.
Yeah. I think there were two versions. Okay. In different sections of Batman Gotham by Gaslight, and I think there was an online whatever. But there's two different versions of the Joker.
Okay.
There was one called the Laughing Butcher.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was what was the other one? Spring Hill Jack, maybe.
Okay. Spring Hill Jack.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the Joker was Jack the Ripper or something like that. No, it's not Jack the Ripper, but like not necessarily a variant.
Yeah.
Because Jack the Ripper. Okay, so Gotham by Gaslight is essentially Batman appearing around the same time as Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
So then, when Bruce Wayne disappears during the night to become Batman, Gotham police force, or all those people thinking, all right, well, he's surely Jack the Ripper because he can't account for his whereabouts, and he's the son of a doctor. And
it all adds up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All adds up to with my circumstantial evidence, which I can only conclude with the technology of my time.
Yeah.
Which actually made sense. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But,
But I think also it'd be intriguing to see steampunk variations of other characters as well. But I think that this is why some of these Elseworlds are just focused on a particular character and you don't expand the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's what I kind of noticed when you sent me a list. Like, really? It just seems like, hey, it's either Batman or Superman. Like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
You kind of run
and even within those comics, it's just the core characters that are changed and not any expanded other people.
No, which is kind of like that's a bit weird in my opinion, but alright. Sure.
Yeah, look, fair enough. If you need to tell the story, you need to tell in the pages you've got to tell it, right?
Yeah.
However, if it's a good concept, you'd be thinking, okay, you could do more stuff to it. In fact, did you ever read what's that one? Batman: Darkest Night.
I don't think so. The name does sound familiar. From what?
Okay.
Darkest.
So Batman in Darkest Night, where Batman gets a Green Lantern.
Oh
ring.
yeah. I haven't read it, but I basically know the thing. I didn't read it. I'll flip through it. Oh, okay. Cool.
So Batman, Bruce Wayne, not Batman. Bruce Wayne gets the ring instead of Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
And he. So this is just by the end of Batman Year One. No, the beginning of Batman Year One, where he's sitting by the. Like he's gotten wounded. He's sitting by the chair and he's waiting for the sign of the father. Yeah. Exactly. Except that a ring smashes through the window instead, right?
Okay.
And then he's Green Lantern, and I believe this is where Sinestro comes.
Yeah.
And this doesn't make any sense to me, by the way, because you'd be like, all right. So you know how much willpower you need to be to have a Green Lantern ring, of course, yeah?
Yeah.
So Sinestro wants to kill Bruce Wayne, yeah?
Okay.
So he goes to try and find the person that not the Batman, but the Bruce Wayne Green Lantern with fear, which is Joe Chill. Except Joe Chill is not exactly a symbol of whatever, right?
Yeah.
So he merges with Joe Chill somehow, okay? And then Joe Chill kind of takes over Sinestro's body. Like, they kind of have a split personality thing going on. I'm like, wait a minute. Joe Chill's displayed none of these capabilities beforehand, right?
Not even that. Like, Sinestro can do this?
Well, Sinestro's ring can do probably whatever it needs to do, right?
Doesn't...
But then he becomes that version of the Joker because he's that crazy, but because it goes insane because of the crazy personality differences. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But it's just okay. I don't see how from what I've seen of Joe Chill, he ain't got a willpower ever to match Sinestro. So I don't see how that would work.
No, it shouldn't. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe because it's in a different universe. I don't know.
I know the power of Joe Chill clearly is something we underestimate, right?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I don't know. Does he have powers all along? I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I look, if they were gonna do something like this, they would have to have obviously established the Green Lanterns first, yeah. And then you'd be like, okay, how would Batman become a Green Lantern? The thing is, of course, this is a one shot and it ends on a cliffhanger, so you don't even know what happens next.
Yeah. But I'm guessing they see it as this. If you're reading like maybe it's like, okay, if you pick this up, you probably already know what the Green Lanterns are, so we don't need to establish anything. You kind of
Oh no, I'm just saying Batman. So at the end of this,
yeah,
Batman's supposed to chase down Sinestro, right?
yeah,
And that's it. This was printed in 1994.
okay,
Nothing else. Well, this Bat Green Lantern was in Countdown, but that's nothing to do with the storyline that was going on.
yeah, of course, yeah. Countdown, yeah,
Yeah. And I don't think it's an intriguing enough a concept to do something for. As much as you be, oh, it's neat that Batman got a Green Lantern ring.
yeah,
Where do you kind of go from that?
yeah.
I mean, he's not even Batman. The guy is Bruce Wayne pre-Batman, so it's still a bit weird.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I tell you what is intriguing. Well, what was intriguing, but I don't know if you read it either. Superman is called Superman, right? Superman speeding bullets. That's the one where his Batman's rocket lands in Gotham instead, and he gets found by the Waynes.
Yeah.
And then they raise him because they what's it called? Martha Wayne had the miscarriage, which would have been Bruce.
Yeah.
So then, then Clark gets raised by the Waynes, being called Bruce, of course. And then Joe Chill goes and kills the Waynes, and then this is where Clark's heat vision activates, and he just kind of cuts Joe Chill in half.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he becomes the Batman, right?
Yeah.
Even though, yeah. Okay, and then I think, and then Lex Luthor is kind of merges with the Joker somewhat. I think he falls in the vat of acid and stuff like that. It's okay. It's not amazing, but it's just like, okay, the concept being, what if Superman was Batman? How he with all that anger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But by the end of the story, he like Lois Lane tells him to step into the light. Essentially, like you can't inspire people by being this dark, grim Avenger, like breaking people's hands and whatnot. Yeah. So he essentially becomes Superman at the end of the book, and it's just like, all right, well, okay. I think it might have been a bit more intriguing if he stayed as Batman for a bit. And just not switch identity, Because a Batman.
What is going for? Like, was this like a one shot as well, or this is like?
I think maybe a free prestige format series.
Okay.
Does it not sound intriguing to you, or were you like the idea of it or the execution of it or something?
I don't know. Just I feel like with most of these,
it doesn't change anything enough.
No, and it's like they go back to the well too much. Like it's either Batman or Superman. You know what I mean? Like,
I think for this one in particular, it's just like, okay, we've reset it back to the normal universe, which is like, okay,
yeah,
whatever you tried to change, to be intriguing, you didn't stick with it enough to
follow it through.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we've gone back to the status quo.
Yeah, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, right?
Yeah, I don't like.
Have you read Batman 9 Lives?
No, I haven't even heard of it either.
Essentially, this is so Dick Grayson is the Private Eye. Yeah. He was the circus boy, but his parents died and stuff like that. Became Private Eye. Batman is around, and everyone's kind of in the 30s. Gangster times. Yeah. And this is where Mr. Freeze is a hitman.
Yeah.
Because he kills, he ices everyone. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Clayface. They call him Clayface because he's a gangster who keeps on having plastic surgery to so he doesn't get arrested.
Yeah.
and his face gets really messed up. Like, okay, Selena Kyle, right? Somehow he's just been hooking up with everybody, except that she isn't, because she's blackmailing them also. So it's just, but everyone's involved with her. The key certain components of people,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, you kind of, you made it like a you read the Dame to Kill For, the Frank Miller Sin City.
Yeah.
They kind of made it like that ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
A queen of ladies of the night, sort of. Yeah.
Yes, ish. Well, yeah. But like I like the idea of it, like 30s Batman in a like sort of era. But yeah, I don't know like how like if you do a one-off, then that's fine, or a 2-part movie or something like that, like a little section of the world by itself, because some of these Elseworlds you're like, okay, it wouldn't be expensive to produce. It's not like the Batman Elseworlds, for example. If you're making something,
you
don't need to go all out on it.
No.
You could do stuff that is I don't say on the cheap, right? Necessarily, right?
Yeah.
But it's not grand. More like if they were going to make a Kingdom Come Elseworlds, which you're saying you did or didn't want.
I did one, but animated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was saying I would like a live action, but I know how expensive that's going to be because all the stuff that's going to go happening in Kingdom Come. So, yeah, big budget movie or big budget series,
I get that
because they'll have to make a whole load of costumes, for this as well, and then a whole load of people, and then like the mass fight at the end, and then the nuke.
Because like, it's one of those things. Live action, I don't know. Like a lot of these things, live action, my personal opinion, won't do it justice.
Yeah,
and like, they'll have to compromise with certain bits and take out whatever, and like animated, it's like we said, it's not dirt cheap, but like you could sort of get around paying big name people to be in a film, and then you're like, you wait, and you get people playing like, for throwing this out there, you've got who can I say? What's that guy from? Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor, and he's only in the film for 2 minutes. Why would you raise the character up? And then like in the comic, he's like, not saying I can't for the life of me at the moment remember how long Lex Luthor's actually in that story for. But you know what I mean?
He's decent amount. He's in a decent amount though.
But like, throw Bryan Cranston on a different character who's in it like barely. You know what I mean?
Like for example, I guess whoever's going to play Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, he's going to play Billy and Captain Marvel, but he's not in it that much.
Yeah. And then you get people just moan about that. Or would an actor take a role just to be in it for like 2 minutes? You know what I mean? It's a sort of thing you got to sort of deal with. But animated, no one cares. You know what I mean? Always had to that's great for me. I've got to say two things like in a booth. Cool.
Some of these things I would like as animation. Like I suppose you could do Vampire Batman, right? Animation. But something like Kingdom Come, I think I'd like to see the live action version of that. However,
I just feel like it become a hot mess like Batman vs Superman.
Yeah. That is something, isn't it? That is
because like when you think about it, that kind of is what Batman Superman was trying to be.
I think Batman Superman was trying to be more Dark Knight Returns as well, which
it tried to be too many things. That's where it kind of failed.
Yeah, exactly. But okay. What about Superman: The Dark Side, where Kal-El's rocket lands on Apocalypse and he's raised by Darkseid? Which, by the way, I don't know. Have you read this? I I've read it. I read it a while ago, so I can give you the lowdown. Oh, actually, you give me what you think happens, and I'll tell you whether that actually does happen.
I'm going by kind of. They kind of sort of touched upon this in an episode of Superman animated series where he was Darkseid's son, and he's basically like being out of character. So so I'm going for like he grew up on Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Kind of got the treatment Orion would have got if he stayed on Apocalypse, and he was like Darkseid's favorite son or whatever. And then something happened, and he realized, hey, I don't actually like doing this. I want to be good guy, and then he becomes good guy. Am I right?
Which episode of Justice League was this? Because
Justice League. It was Superman the animated series. It was
Superman. Yeah.
Season. Okay. It was in season 4. Like it was like the last episode. It was a 3-part of like last 3 episodes of the season, and then Justice League happened.
Yeah. So, like you're saying, the comic is actually pretty much the same.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, you gotta say the concept of Superman being raised by Darkseid is really intriguing concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like we were saying before about Superman speeding bullets, by the time he reaches Earth and he meets Lois Lane, he's like, you know what I'm doing, right? Trying to conquer things in the name of Darkseid. Maybe it ain't the right thing to do.
Yeah. It took the love of human woman for me to realize, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. I think I think this could have been good if they followed all the way through and went for the downer ending, because at that point of the character, like if you're being raised by Darkseid and you got all powerful like that, you either try to take it over from him, or you conquer everything in his name.
Yeah. One or the other.
Yeah. Or unless they have that little tussle with the High Father and they kind of like get to some sort of middle ground or something like that. With wreckage of whatever it is, because if you're as powerful as Superman, you are just going to start mucking things up.
Yeah.
It might have been more intriguing if they start taking over the planets and stuff like that. And he's like, you know what, Darkseid, I'm challenge you for the throne because you taught me all about what might makes right and that stuff.
Yeah.
It's your turn to step aside or whatever it is. Be like, okay.
Yeah, because a lot of these things, like they just Superman always ends up just being a good guy again.
Yeah. His Kansas personality shines through, even though he's not even raised on Kansas.
Yeah.
Makes that's where it kind of is like, all right. I mean, if you brought him up in that desolate world, he's gonna have the thoughts
of
and processes of that. Yeah, exactly. So
that's why I was like, okay, that's what like. But then the whole Superman thing, like, I think where they kind of have an issue with is, especially recently, no one really likes when Superman becomes evil.
Okay.
Like a lot of people, like the kind of the backlash they got with Injustice.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's different. I think that's because he was a good Superman and became evil, right? Yeah. Whereas this is a Superman who starts off in that on over that side of the fence already.
Yeah.
So it's not as if I don't. By the way, like you're saying, right? For some reason, people love the evil Superman concept, except that he has to be good and become evil. And it's like, why is that more intriguing than the way he is?
Yeah.
And then why would he even go that way? Because like with what happened in Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Where Lois got like the whole Daily Planet got poisoned, and he was going to go and not necessarily kill the Joker, right? But Lois told him not to, right? Yeah. That's not the way to go. And then my God kills the Joker, and he's like, you people are all just gonna end up killing each other, and then he just leaves,
Yeah.
So that makes a bit more sense. Like he just gave up on humanity because he's like, these people, right? Which makes a bit more sense to me than I know. Okay, in Injustice, right?
Yeah.
How he killed Lois Lane
It's
is
messed up. Yeah.
yeah, and way too much, by the way, as well, because he's
Yeah.
like the visions of fighting Doomsday and everything like that, and he's like, okay, and she was pregnant, but and he's Jokerized and stuff like that, right? It had Joker gas or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, but if you're gonna throw punches at Lois like as though she's Doomsday, finished, you
But
know?
does he actually? Because from what I remember, because I've read the Injustice comics, I've read them all, that he saw Doomsday, and instead of punching or whatever, he's like, okay, I need to get him out of here so he can't do any damage. And that's when he flew up to space, and then
I thought that was at the very end of the fight.
Because I think before that he's fighting someone else, and then Lois comes to where it is, and that's where he sees her as.
Oh, well, he does like take her in space, like you said. And,
Yeah.
and she, her it cuts her function. But I thought he beat her up as well, which made no sense to me.
Nah.
But
I think he's fighting someone else before that.
okay.
Yeah. So I think he's fighting Amazo. But anyway, yeah. But it's not sound weird. I prefer that kind of Superman being good then becoming evil, because it kind of takes that whole, Batman.
And to be fair as well, with Injustice, people kind of what people forget to point out is it takes him a couple of years to become a dictator, because
it's not like straight away.
Cal,
yeah,
Cal. You don't call him Clark no more. Cal, come on, man.
Yeah.
Look what's happening, man.
Yeah. And in a way, his dictatorship kind of has points to it.
I want to say they kind of nudged Wonder Woman probably a bit too far to push to that point where she's
basically she was kind of out of character,
take over the world, but
But like, wait, what was I saying? Wait, what was I saying? Like, it kind of like back to it's the whole Batman. Sorry, the Dark Knight film where, like Joker says, it always takes that one bad day.
Yes.
Yeah, so I kind of like that sort of takes. Sometimes it comes to Superman, like, yeah, okay. He was good for all these years. That one little thing, even though it's not a little thing, it's his wife and child dying.
Yeah.
So like, you know what? This shouldn't happen to anyone again, and I'm gonna make sure it doesn't through nefarious means, in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're thinking you wanted to see a Injustice animated movie?
Oh, there is one, and apparently it's terrible.
Oh. Okay. I was like, what about the bit where He-Man gets the powers of Shazam?
Hey, what?
That ain't gonna happen.
Nah. Wait, He-Man?
Yeah.
Well,
so you don't
in Injustice?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're talking about Injustice versus Master Universe?
Yeah. There was a crossover.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then He-Man gets the powers of Shazam, and
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
That's something.
Yeah.
Even though is He-Man on Superman's level to begin with,
probably
and then he gets what?
because you forget He-Man has pulled a planet.
Yeah. And I think he threw a rock against he threw like a boulder against an asteroid to destroy it, so he didn't crash into Eternia or something crazy
something
like that.
stupid. Yeah, it's not really bad, but something stupid.
But then, do the powers of Shazam stack on top of He-Man's abilities, or does he get just the abilities of Shazam that he doesn't currently have as top out his power levels as He-Man?
I don't know. Maybe he just can fly. I don't know.
I also did not get, by the way, how in Injustice Superman just laser visioned Captain Marvel. It's like, okay,
I get it.
well, I just feel
because in Injustice they all get like power boosts.
Yeah,
so that's why Batman can actually fight Superman, not like die from getting punched.
Yeah, but then shouldn't Captain Marvel have enough equal level power boost to absorb to not be basically lobotomized by heat vision?
No, because if Superman's powers got boosted as well.
Yeah, but that.
And then if Superman's always been stronger than Shazam.
Well, I think they try to portray them relative, right?
Nah.
But I will agree with you and say that Superman is portrayed more capable.
No, I'm pretty sure they portrayed Superman like I'm pretty sure in DC Universe, Superman's like the strongest person and all that.
Well,
so...
that's the thing, isn't it? Because he's always the one that takes the glory. I'm not cussing. I'm just saying, right? Which is why we think Captain Marvel is lesser, because Captain Marvel. If I say to you, give me a significant DC Crisis crossover battle that Captain Marvel has won or was majorly involved in, you'd be like, I don't know. But if I asked you about Superman, you'd be like, well, there's Crisis on Infinite Earths, there's Infinite Crisis, yeah, and all these other ones. So, to be fair, he is a key character, but it's just like whenever they fight, whenever they have their match, it's meant to. Are they meant to portray them as similar abilities?
I don't think so.
Well, I think that's what they tried, but it's just like you say, it doesn't come across that way. It comes across as Superman's.
Because like technically, I don't know. Superman technically is he's a god basically, right?
Yeah, and Captain Marvel,
he's taking certain powers of certain gods, so it's not their full power. So he's not really.
Oh, true. Oh, by the way, have you read Shazam, Superman Shazam First Wonder, or have you watched the animated movie?
No, I always wanted to watch. I never got around to watching it. It's quite a short one, right? They team up to fight Black Adam or something, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you ever read the comic, the animation, by the way, is similar to the artwork in the comics, except that there's a major difference because Black Adam's not in the comics.
Okay.
They fight Sabak. Well, they don't really fight Sabak. It's what's his name? Dr. Savannah.
Oh yeah, the worm dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not the worm dude. Sorry, that's someone else.
That's Mr. Mind.
Yeah, that's Mr. Mind. But I get that. He's Mark Strong, Dr. Savannah. Yeah, I don't know why. Getting things all mixed up.
Oh, do you know about Superman at Earth's End?
Sounds terrible. Wow.
Okay, this is the one where old bearded Superman, looking like Santa Claus, by the way, has this massive gun with guns attached to it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the picture now. I haven't read it, but I've seen this. Like, oh, God.
Yeah. And he fights merged clones of Hitler. What?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Hitler has two clones, and he merged. Yeah, that's who Superman's fighting. It's like, what is this about? You know, I think I've read it as well at one point, but I'm like, it makes no sense. Why would Superman have guns anyways, right?
Unless he has no powers anymore. Okay, whatever, sure.
But then it's just like, how nutty is this? What is going on here?
So it's set in a post-apocalyptic future where mutations run wild, and the white man's Man of Steel has begun to fight against a new scourge sweeping across the earth. A nightmare of army of Batmen. Okay. Alright. So basically they reimagined what's that? I want to say Cave Boy, but he's not Cave Boy. Is it Commandy, yeah. But with Superman.
Yeah, which is
this is okay.
Well,
sure.
Yeah. But yeah. But when you read the actual comic, it's just like, what is it? Look, man. You know how some stuff like when you watch Nicolas Cage be Nicolas Cage in a Nicolas Cage film, yeah?
Yeah.
You're like, all right, my man's acting as though he's on all the drugs in the world.
Yeah, but I feel like comedic effects.
Yeah. But this, right, is if you're on all the drugs in the world and it's not comedic effect.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just like nothing starts to make any sense whatsoever.
Why is this a thing? Sorry, I'm just like, why is this?
Yeah, it's one of those. We'll call it. It's one of those Madam Web style things, right?
Yeah.
Where you watch it for the intrigue, or you read it for the intrigue because you hear how bad it is.
But like, I just feel like this is something that someone said a joke, and I was like, all right, we've got a month being great between two storylines. Exactly. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah. How many guns can we attach to these guns? Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you what is interesting. I haven't read it yet though. Superman, Last Son of Earth. This is where Earth blows up, and his Clark Kent's pod, infant Clark Kent's pod, gets sent to Krypton.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and you'd think, by the way, you'd think logically he'd have the reverse powers of what a Kryptonian would have on Earth. Yeah, maybe. I haven't read it, don't know. But what I do know is that the atmosphere is the gravity's too high, and he had to be around in a spacesuit all the time.
Yeah.
And he becomes a Green Lantern of some sort.
Yeah, I just saw that. Oh, okay.
However, I think it would have been a really good concept if he started developing inverse Superman powers, which is almost like Bizarro, right?
Yeah.
But then, well, like obviously, the lighter gravity on Earth allows Superman to fly, is what they say, yeah? So if it's heavier gravity, what happens?
Crush him.
yeah. So you couldn't really have those, you know.
No.
But if you got laser vision, if you're from Krypton to Earth and you got laser vision, if you got Earth to Krypton, do you have ice vision?
Maybe.
Heat breath? You know?
That's interesting.
That's why I'm intrigued to read, but I think they kind of go for more the standard sci-fi route of a human on a different planet.
Yeah.
Which still makes sense because how could you do that, you know? How could you? Yeah, I mean, you already got Bizarro. You don't need to reverse the abilities.
No.
I think it's just like how the world of Krypton, how would a human adapt to the world of Krypton? That is something. Not like when Adam Strange goes to
that planet.
Thagnar.
Yes, yeah. Rain? Sorry, just trying to
Yeah, Ran.
That's it. The Thanagarian and the Ran, isn't it? They're having a war.
Yeah,
there we go. Got there in the end. Yeah. Oh, that sounds because they kind of did similar to sort of this. In Batman, Superman, World's Finest right now.
Yeah.
The current one. They kind of done a story of this with Kid Thunder. I think.
Kid Thunder, who is Magog.
Yeah. That's his sort of thing. Is he was from another Earth, and the Earth was dying, and his parents sent him to another dimension or something like that. Yeah. And he came over here, but then there's more to it because he found out that he actually accidentally sent himself here because the space was meant to be built for both him and his parents and all that stuff. Yeah, it's kind of.
What it is kind of like a tag on the end of Kingdom Come.
Yeah,
because it's like it's technically it's got bits of a prequel, but it isn't, right? And then you can explain. It kind of explains why Magog just went to kill the Joker.
Yeah,
because the Joker tortured him when he was Kid Thunder.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay, that makes all the sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's just like, do you not necessarily? Oh, okay, I don't need it, but it's just like, do you really need it? It's fun and everything. It's cool. Artwork's really good, but yeah, and Mark Waid writes it, so I generally is good. But it's just like, what does it add? Does it add too much to the twist of him being Magog? Fine, right? But does it add anything to Magog character? Because I can see already the way that Magog is to go that route.
Yeah,
anyways.
Yeah. It's one of those sort of things like, is it? Okay. Did we need this?
Would you like to see Superman Red Sun?
Wait, I think there is an animated movie of this.
Yeah. Live action is what I meant.
Nah.
Nah.
Okay. I don't know why though. It just feels lazy.
Like there's, I want to say there's pros and cons to it, but it's more skewed towards essentially the negative of him landing in Russia rather than how things could change in a different way. Because let's just say, right, even though Mark Miller wrote it, so he's not even American, so it's not even patriotic, right?
Yeah.
Or if Superman lands in America, depending, he could go good or bad, yeah. He happened to land in Kansas, and the Kents brought him up, and he became the champion of the world, essentially. If he landed in Lionel Luthor's household, things would be way different, right?
Yeah.
Here he landed with when Stalin was in control. Was it Lenin or Stalin?
I think it was Stalin.
Yeah. So it's not so much as if Superman landed in Russia. It's more of if Superman landed in that particular regime in Russia.
Yeah.
Then it goes this route.
Yeah. And how the things going right now, I don't think they would want to do this.
Oh yes, this is true.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
Because I only thought about it now, like, yeah, they wouldn't really want to do that because not good.
Yeah, but I did like how they Russianized Batman.
Yeah, even though at the time, Rena, that's pretty cool. And I thought I was like, that doesn't really make sense.
No, it doesn't. But whatever, right?
Yeah, like the Wonder Woman kind of makes sense because she's from Themyscira or whatever. Like that makes sense. But so just because Superman landed in Russia, the Wayne's technically, you know what I mean? That's what's like,
yeah.
Doesn't really make sense. Like doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. I
and then how Jordan's still Green Lantern, like okay.
Yeah.
So they were dissecting Abin Sur or something like that. The Green Lantern crash, and they then used they tried to use the Green Lantern ring technology to create other Green Lantern rings.
Yeah.
And then they tried to take down Superman, which Hal Jordan was the leader of the Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
And he just was like, nah, mate.
Yeah. Like, I like Red Sun. I haven't read it in about 10 years or so. But, yeah, a lot of it just seems weird. Like, I like the ending where basically it's saying it's a cycle that repeats itself.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. Oh, that's cool. Okay, you know. Because in the future, we became this and then became L. Like, okay, yep, I get it. Okay, so now this Earth's going to die and they're going to send that kid to another planet. Yeah, and the circle continues. Cool. All right, I get it. All right. Clever writing, Mark. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Gosh. But yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so you want to, like, okay. For example, right, let's just say, okay. In the Superman TV series, Superman Lives TV series, right?
Yep.
Would you like the Red Sun to appear in that at some point?
Yeah.
Not saying, of course, because there's no relevant story for him to appear in. I'm just saying, if there was like a continuation, at some point, like they had Bizarro and stuff, like they could have done something maybe with Red Sun Superman in that series.
Yeah.
Like an alternate version. In fact, if the Superman Lows continued, this I suppose you could do multiversal stuff with different Supermen in this.
Yeah,
more than you would do it in the movies, in the mainline James Gunn DC universe, because it wouldn't be too out of place. Well, it might feel that you're just stuffing him in there to stuff him in there, but if there's an actual multiverse storyline going on.
Yeah, because I think you can get around it with that because they've established multiverse and that stuff in it.
Do you think there was a missed chances in Crisis on Infinite Earth to have some of these more cooler variants, like Red Sun Superman or something like that? Just, I don't want to say cameo appearance, but you could also say, by the way, that why are they going to waste their material, like time and materials to make a costume that would be in a scene for like 10 seconds? But but at this point, right, it's just basically a Superman costume with in a different symbol, right?
Yeah.
So, like, just for example, spray paint the Superman costume in a different color and put the different symbol in that, and you got your different version of Superman.
You could do it that way, yeah. But like, yeah, it would. I don't know, but you need the authentic. I don't know. It's
yeah.
I don't know how they could pull that off.
Would you? By the way, do you think they'll ever do like Spider-Man? They did Spider-Man No Way Home with all the current the live action versions of Spider-Man, right? You think DC will do a similar thing with Superman, considering they do have several Superman actors who are still around?
I don't think they would.
Right. Well, would you? Okay, yeah. You wouldn't be prudent? You think there's no story, or do you think there's to be like there's no reason for them to do this because they haven't got a story that goes in that direction?
I think just because like they would think people think they're too much copying Marvel.
Yeah, it's true. This is true.
Yeah, and I don't know, like when you think about it, Superman's the most powerful person in said universe, right?
Yeah.
And then you bring like 7 of them, they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
yeah.
Like Spider-Man get around it because he's just the man with like spider strength, But Superman, apparently couldn't move planets. So having 7 of him is like, oh, there's no threat whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. By the way, I did see some fan artwork using Henry Cavill as the Red Sun Superman. I'm like, oh, well, yeah. though his Superman is grim, grimmer than most Supermen.
It is, but
I don't know necessarily who goes to Red Sun level.
no.
I don't know his version of Superman, by the way, based on how the Zack Snyder universe was going. If he became Injustice Superman, I think that could make sense.
That could make sense, yeah.
Only based on like we saw in Zack Snyder's Justice League and all the ideas that they were going to do something afterwards, where Superman took over the planet. Stuff like that. Because Darkseid kind of he's a combination of what Superman the Darkseid and Superman Injustice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because obviously they say it's something to do with Lois, right? So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I feel like there's concepts that they haven't explored yet.
Yeah.
That they could do.
Yeah.
Not just based on Superman, right? But you've seen Batman Ninja?
I started watching it and then I didn't.
Okay. Tell me why you stopped watching it.
I don't know. Like, it took me a while to get into animations. Like, you know what? I'm kind of tired, and I can't. My tolerance for stuff is very low right now. I'll watch it a different time, and that was about 5 years ago at this point.
Okay. Okay. I enjoyed it, but it started in modern time and it went back into the past.
Yeah.
It would have been like cool to do Samurai Ninja Batman, just from that time. Like, I don't want to say he's Japanese Batman, whatever, but you could have just started it there in the Shogun era. Yeah.
Wait, I've seen the end. I saw some bit where they find some mech Joker thing. I was like, okay.
even though logically speaking, I don't know if I would say that Joker could ever build a mech, but whatever.
Not than that as well. I was like, this is feudal Japan. I mean, where have they got these parts? This doesn't make any sense. But all right, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Because
I was interested in seeing it because like all the Bat kids are in it. So I was like, okay,
yeah.
Because I thought, okay, if they got Damon, they're gonna somehow neglect Tim. But no, Tim was there too. I was like, okay, cool. That's a cool thing. But yeah, just never.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, let me. I know we haven't gone through all the Elseworlds, but it's just like some of them.
Something. Anyway, this episode ran long again, so I've cut it down into 2 parts. So in the next episode, we'll carry on our discussion on different DC Elseworlds that we have maybe read and have not read. But until then, don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you listen to this on the audio realm, as in like in a podcast, in app or whatever, don't forget to give us a 5-star review and even write a review as well. And if I can find it, I'll read it out. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We can also ask many questions and follow some of the friends we do. And I have been the guy who is an old psychic of Superman, but then somehow gets thrown back into the future, then in the past, and become back as Magog. That's a long-winded way to get into that. And my co-host CY, who obviously is not here because I'm doing this later on. And thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.